Hey, what's happening, YouTubers? Can you imagine making 75 cents a month? A month. Well, this lady right here was a musical genius. Her name is Elizabeth Cotten. She was born in like 1893. She is a musical guitar genius and a pioneer. That's how much she made back in the day. She made 75 cents a month. She saved that money up to buy her first guitar. Check her story out.
It was the Seeger family who discovered Elizabeth Cotten. She was born about 1892. Her grandmother was a slave. She was only a young thing in her 60s when she came up to Washington from North Carolina and got a job with the Seegers as a domestic help. At that time, she wasn't playing at all and hadn't done for about 40 years. Back home, the preachers had warned her about worldliness and music. The Seegers were to change all that.
I will sing it. Oh, Georgie Buck, oh, Georgie Buck, oh, Georgie Buck, said so. Georgie Buck is dead, last word he said, didn't want no short and Georgie Buck.
Yeah, that's lovely. Where did you learn your music at home when you were growing up?
I learned my music in my home. When I was 11 years old, I went to work and bought myself a guitar. When my mother would leave home to go to work, after mother was gone, I'd get up and put my dress on and go down among where the white people live. And I'd knock on the door. Someone would come to the door and I'd say, "Miss, would you like someone to work for you?" And they sometimes said no or nothing. I knocked on one lady's door, and when she opened the door, she says, "What could a little girl like you do?" She hired me. I said, "Miss, I can sweep your kitchen, I help with the vegetables, I can set your table." I said, "You know, I can make a fire in your wood stove." She cooked on a iron stove then. Y'all know about them?
Yeah.
No, you don't. You've heard about it, but I did. I knew how to make a fire in this iron stove to make it draw so she could cook. So she says to me, "Come in." When I went into her house, I started to work for her that day. And I worked for her until she left Chapel Hill. And she paid me 75 cents a month. Well, I didn't know 75 cents wasn't much money. It was a lot of money to me. I'd never worked before. So one morning she came in the kitchen. She says, "We're going to give you more money." And she gave me then after that $1 a month. And I gave that to my mother and asked her to buy me this guitar. So she bought it to her sorrow. She didn't get no more rest. See, I was just playing this all the time. I couldn't play it, just making a noise. She stormed to me and tell me, she called me, "Babe, put that thing down and go to bed." I said, "Mama, I'm learning a new song. I won't learn no song because I didn't know one man. I didn't know no songs then."
Elizabeth Cotten was born in Chapel Hill, North Carolina on January 5th, 1893. She lived in Washington, D.C. Freight Train, which she wrote at age 12, had become a folk classic.
We're here to explore more guitar with a very, very special person, and she's special for several reasons, which you'll soon find out. Her name is Elizabeth Cotten, and she plays a particular kind of guitar that hasn't, the style of which has no name because she invented it.
The style is called Cotten Picken and is named after Elizabeth Cotten because she invented the style.
It's been called cotton picking, which is kind of funny, by some magazine writer who's written her up. Elizabeth composed the song Freight Train, which every guitar picker knows how to play. That's what you first learn picking on, that song, and it's very exciting, and I'm just delighted to have her here with us to play Freight Train for us, first of all, and then we're going to ask her how she got started. Would you?
To start, how I got started.
All right.
Well, you mean to pick the song?
Yeah. Yeah. How did you begin to pick?
I began to pick this way. I laid my guitar flat, and I work this finger. That finger works 3 strings, and my thumb works 3. See? It has 3 strings a piece to work. And then after I got that, then I started this way, till I could get them working. Then after I got that, then you got to get the sound here by noting the string at different frets, up or down or none at all.
You did this all by ear. You don't read music or.
I don't read
anything
music.
of that kind.
Never had a lesson.
No, but
And
you're
if
right.
I'd asked anyone to show me, they said, we can't show you because you're left hand. Change the strings and we'll show you.
And that was the other thing that I'm sure people noticed. They're probably looking at you and saying, my God, what is she doing? What she has done, how she plays, is that the guitar is upside down and the strings are the way mine are, except that she reverses it. So the low E string is down there, which is rather fascinating. Would you play Freight Train for us?
She wrote this song when she was 12 years old, like 1905.
Elizabeth's style has been taught through Peggy Seeger, whom she's a friend of all the Seegers, but through Peggy. It's a style that's played by many of the folk singers who are playing now, of Joan Baez, Judy Collins, some of the young men too. And this picking style and this kind of background, which is really quite fantastic. How did you first start playing the guitar, Elizabeth?
Well, I first started I learned on a banjo at the beginning.
Really? Did you?
Yes, and then I learned how to pick strings on the banjo. I didn't get too many tunes on the banjo. And then after the banjo, then I started on the guitar, just as I showed you. That's the way I started.
Yeah, why did you put it in your lap? Why did you lay it flat?
Well, to see. I couldn't see what I was doing.
To see what you were doing.
I could see my fingers and what I'd want to do, you see. Then after I did this while, then I put the 3. That finger don't ever come over here, and that one don't ever go over there.
You never cross fingers.
They just
stay where you are.
play the 3, and this one plays the 3.
Did you, you wrote that song, Freight Train, about 60 years ago, I understand. I shouldn't tell.
So.
Should I?
Yes, I like it. I'm sure.
We also have an honorary inductee who was unable to attend the original induction. And so tonight, we'd like to give her the opportunity to properly accept her induction.
The music of African Americans has influenced the entire pantheon of American music, from blues to folk to country to rhythm and blues and rock and roll. But sometimes an important voice was silent for long periods of time.
And rap.
That is the story of Elizabeth Cotten, who was mostly unheard and unknown for years. Elizabeth Cotten was born Elizabeth Nevills on January 5th, 1893 in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. She was raised in a musical family and first played her brother's banjo before she purchased a Sears and Roebuck guitar from McDade's store on Franklin Street when she was 11 with $3.75 when she only earned 75 cents a month. Elizabeth Cotten was left-handed but played the guitar strung for a right-handed player by turning the guitar upside down. This meant that the top strings were on the bottom and the bottom strings were on top, as she played the bass lines with her fingers and the melody with her thumbs. This unique finger style later became dubbed cotton picking. During her early teens, she began writing songs including Freight Train, which became a timeless song recorded by Peter, Paul and Mary, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, His Name is Alive, Doc Watson, Taj Mahal, Chet Atkins, Grateful Dead, Mike, Peggy, and Pete Seeger, and Gary Clark Jr.
Freight train, run so fast. Freight train, run so fast. Please don't tell boy train they won't know what route I go.
In 1910, she married Frank Cotten and gave up her guitar playing after they had a daughter, Lily. Over the next 20 years, the Cottens owned homes in North Carolina, New York City, and Washington, D.C. And for 25 years, Elizabeth gave up playing the guitar publicly except for occasional performances at church. Fate had a way of bringing her back into music where her talents were recognized and acclaimed. However, at home, her family always enjoyed her playing well into the night. Elizabeth worked all her life, putting her many skills to work to overcome obstacles and to face each new phase of her life with optimism. Proof of her progressive, uplifting nature really showed through when she began a new career in music at the age of 70. Elizabeth was working in a department store when she saw a young girl who had gotten lost from her mother. Cotten helped the girl find her mother. That girl was Peggy, daughter of composer Ruth Crawford Seeger of the famous Seeger family. Charles and Ruth Seeger hired Elizabeth to work as a nanny. Penny, the youngest daughter, could not say Elizabeth and nicknamed her Libba. The Seegers were a musical family who often played at home. This led Libba to teach her music to the children. Son Mike Seeger recognized Cotten's talent and taped her playing. That tape became Cotten's first album, Folk Songs and Instrumentals with Guitar. It was released on Folkways Records. She toured with Mike, which led to the folk community recognizing her unique talent. Elizabeth Cotten performed with artists Mississippi John Hurt, John Lee Hooker, and Muddy Waters during the folk revival of the 1960s. She performed at the Smithsonian Festival of American Folklife, appeared with Muddy Waters at the Newport Folk Festival, and toured the USSR with Taj Mahal. Elizabeth Cotten's career continued into her 90s, and in 1984, she won a Grammy for Best Ethnic or Traditional Recording for her album Elizabeth Cotten Live, released by Arhoolie Records. She lived in Syracuse, New York until her death on June 29, 1987, at the approximate age of 103. She was named a living treasure and has a park and statue in her honor in Syracuse. 2 years after her death, in 1989, Elizabeth Cotten was named one of the 75 most influential African American women in the documentary I Dream a World.
I think I practically about made that myself.
Did you? Did you write that?
I remember I used to hear my brother used to play something, but it wasn't tuned this way. And he used to sing, "Ruben, where you been so long?"
And you got the idea.
And,
just wrote your own. Did your brother play guitar or?
Yes.
But he played the other way.
We all played different.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, all five of us played. Three brothers and one sister.
And you all played guitars? And you all play differently?
Everyone played different.
Isn't that interesting?
They chord and do this and
you made up your own style.
And I can't do any of that.
Oh, you can't do. Oh, I feel so sorry for you. What you do is fine. You wrote another song.
This is Elizabeth Cotten's son and grandsons
Freight train, run so fast.
playing her song Freight Train.
freight train, run so fast. Please don't tell what train.
That's her son right there. And the other three are grandson.
I'm gone. Freight train, freight train.
That's her son right there.